So we're going to make you a great dish. By the way, this comes in at 97 pence, which you won't believe. Always check the link above for the latest updated prices and tips on how we produce the dish. But you're going to have 3 big sausages, some greens. We bought this as a pre-mixed bag from the supermarket, but of course we always recommend where you can do it yourself. But again, we're trying to do convenience, so that was already out of a bag. We're going with red onion, and we're going to make you the most wonderful celeriac mash to go with it.
We are. So today we're popping some red onion straight into a hot wok or deep frying pan, whatever you've got to hand. We've added a little bit of butter. You can add olive oil, you can use avocado oil, whatever you want.
What mustn't you use?
Just avoid those seed oils.
And those vegetable oils, which are really good seed oils.
Yeah, so just always be mindful about what you're cooking your food in.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just going to soften the red onion a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You can always add a little bit of water. That will quickly help to wilt it a little bit more.
Yep.
Then we're going to be adding in our sausages. I suggest to reduce your cooking time. You're just going to chop your sausages up.
That just makes it quicker to get the heat all the way through. Yeah.
It does, and they'll just cook much quicker.
And I guess this dish, if you do what you and I do, which is batch cook always our celeriac mash.
Yeah.
So we batch cook it in one go. We get like 20, 30 portions, put them in the freezer, bring them out in the morning if we know we're going to use it that evening. So assuming you've already made the celeriac mash, this is probably a 5-10 minute dish.
Oh, yeah, completely. It's such a quick dish. And it's so nutritious as well. You've got all the protein, you've got lots of fibre, all the taste, all the texture that we know you love. And yeah, I mean, next to no time, and really, really, really filling dish.
And we couldn't call this a no-carb dish because there's a tiny bit of carbs, of course, in the celeriac, about 2 grams per 100. I mean, like that's 1/10 of the potato.
Yes.
There's a little bit of carbs in onions, but we're just using 1 onion. And then you'd make your own mind up at home whether this is a meal for 1, a meal for 2. If you're on your own, you might, get halfway through it and go, well, I'm full already because it's so nutritious. And then you just take whatever's left, put it in one of those plastic tubs and put it in the freezer.
Well, exactly. If you can prepare food, if you can be really, really good with your ingredients and just put things into a Tupperware, pop it into the freezer or pop it into the fridge if you're going to have it for lunch tomorrow and you're going to have this for dinner tonight.
Yep.
Then it makes life so much easier, doesn't it? And much more convenient.
Yeah, and we talk about the ACE recipe being affordable, convenient and easy in the prep, but also convenient, and pretty much everything we show can go in the freezer.
Well, exactly. Almost everything we show, definitely.
Yeah.
So all I'm doing is sealing off those sausages, cooking them through high heat. We've got it on the max heat. And then at the end, we're just going to add in our spring greens, add in a little bit of black pepper. You don't really need any extra salt because obviously salt is already in the sausages. Always look at the back of packs to know what's in your sausages. If there's lots of added breadcrumbs, then you're going to be increasing the amount of carbs in your dish. So if you are diabetic, type 2, type 1, etc., you just want to be mindful of any hidden carbs.
Yeah. So take that 97p up to maybe £1.10, £1.20 with a higher grade sausage that is, pretty much just the meat.
Exactly. And always buy what you can afford. But the sausages are a great ingredient.
So that's all starting to look brown.
Yep.
So in, I guess, goes the greens now. And we stir that for another minute or 2 only. Keep a bit of crunch in the vegetables.
Yep. Keep them a little bit al dente. And then
we better go and show everybody now how to make the mash. So let's start by showing you a mash with Emma's techniques using the celeriac, which remember has 1/10 of the carbohydrates of the same amount of potato. It's got vitamin B6, it's got vitamin C, it's got manganese, it's got phosphorus, it's got loads of good stuff. Now, how do you prep it? Good question. Some people use a peeler. For me, that just seems to take forever.
The skin is really tough.
Yeah.
So I would just suggest using a really sharp knife, a heavy knife, a big knife, not a small one, because you're just not going to have the strength. But if you just take off, you don't have to go crazy and chop, wedges off it. but just take the tougher.
Yeah, don't
out
think
of
you've got
there.
to eliminate all of it at all, because again, that would just waste way too much. And we reckon per person, per portion, doesn't matter whether you're doing Celeria wedges, or as I call them, roasties, whether you're doing chips or fries, or whether you're doing mash, it's about 1/3 per person will give you a big portion. So you might even want to just use 1/4 of a celeriac. It goes a long way. And what we also do, we both do the same thing, is whenever we're in the kitchen, we've got some spare time, we prep way in advance. So I personally will do 3 or 4 celeriacs all in one go, because you can put them in the freezer and bring it out when you need that convenience.
Exactly. And when you're with mash, you just want to cut it into small squares.
Yep.
Because, you know, then it's going to take a lot quicker. And it does, compared to potato, I'd say it probably takes 1/3, probably 2/3 of the time. What do you think?
To actually boil it, to
boil
get it ready to
It's-
mash.
Yeah, it's very quick.
Yeah, I would say you're done 7-8 minutes, something like that. So we're just going to pop those into a pan of boiling water, and then when we can put a knife or a fork into them quite easily, we'll come back and we will show you what to do next. So you've drained the water, what next?
So as you say, we've taken the water out. The celeriac is really nice and soft, so you can pop a fork in or a knife in.
Yeah.
And then we are just going to pop it into a bowl. You don't need to, don't need to be fancy and go out and buy a potato masher.
Yeah.
We're trying to make this as simple as possible.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to pop it straight into a bowl. You
Yeah.
can use a bigger bowl, whatever you've got.
So most people will have like a potato masher at home, so you could
They
use
will.
that and do it straight in the pot.
Yeah.
Cool, but you're just trying to go absolutely, because at home I use my blender that I use for everything else, because it just does it in seconds. But you're just showing again the most simple way of doing it with a fork.
With
away
a
you go.
fork, a little bit of butter, and some black pepper, and then you're just going to mash it up.
That's absolutely fantastic. And of course, you can add other things. So, if you're the sort of person when you have mash, normally you put a lot of butter in potato mash, then put a lot in here. If you add cheese or if you have cream, normally when you do your mash at home, do the same, do whatever you want. If you like fiery, add a little bit of pepper. Do you want to show you what I did the other day? I hope I can find it in the fridge. I hope we've got, I've got it, here we go. So the other day, I'd done some beetroot for a salad that I boiled.
Yeah.
Took the beetroot out of the pan.
Yes.
Put the celeriac roasties in before
Yeah.
they were cooked them in with
Brilliant.
the beetroot and turned it red, and then I put a duck breast over the top, and nobody could guess what it was. What's that? What was that strawberry type thing going? It wasn't
Strawberry.
It was celeriac mash with a little bit of a twist to it.
Oh, that's perfect, isn't it?
Yeah. And anyway, that's going to be
think I
your
need to put it in.
lovely mash. So as Emma continues with that, let's show you what we're going to do next. So that's looking absolutely fantastic, and there's so many different dishes that we can put it in, but we're sure you're going to love this one. Wow, that looks great.
Yeah.
So that's the sausage and the vegetables and the onions prep. The mash we've already got on the table, steaming hot. Let's plate it up. Now guess what I've just done? I've just got your Tupperware box out, because the more and more I look at this, even though the whole thing only costs 97p, you might end up going, that's a meal for two.
I mean, I think that's easily enough just there.
Okay.
And then, this was a great idea. Let's just pop the rest.
And you know what? Even if the bit that was left over wasn't an entire meal, you can have it as part of a breakfast. You can have it along something else. You could have it as just a quick snack,
Yeah.
at a time when you think, I'm just a little bit peckish, because that probably isn't still a meal. But I'm going to say it's like 1.5 portions there in one go.
Easily. I mean, you could add some scrambled egg, have that alongside some scrambled eggs. That would be really
Yes, just
nice.
think about that. Don't even put it in the freezer.
No.
Straight in the fridge.
Have
Do
it
some
for
scrambled
breakfast.
eggs tomorrow. Put that inside your scrambled egg. Job done. That looks beautiful.